Well, good morning, McWarriors. Morning for me, probably evening for just about everybody else. I am Just Call Me Ash, and today I have with me my very good friend, Mr. Bowser. How are you,
Hello,
mate?
hello. Pretty good.
Now, today we have Trial of Combat, Week 5, I believe, and Week 5 puts us with GNX versus CSPS. Now,
That is right.
what I'm going to do very quickly is flick over to the scoreboard here, because after last week, and we casted this Division 2 together, so this actually works out really, really well. 42 dominated. They got their everything out and just look at this. 25 to 9, the Sky Rangers put them up to, hang on, that's not right, I think. Oh, maybe it is. I put them up to 162 points when they were down at around 90 points. So huge win.
And after watching the games last week,
Oh yeah,
they did pretty well. Everyone could see they did very well. So,
and I'd also heard on the grapevine from more than one person that they'd been practicing almost every night all week. So that's what you get. You put in the time.
dedication. Yep.
You get the reward. All right, that's how. Well, you don't always, but that's generally how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Today we have GNX and CSPS. They're only separated by, what is that, 12 points. So basically whoever wins today is more than likely going to leapfrog the other guy. Now, I'm looking at the matches. They've had pretty close games overall so far. So I think this is, what is it, week 5, and we only have 2 more weeks left to go after this. 2 more weeks. That's it. So pretty important. Round 5 and round 6 could basically decide where you finish at the end here.
So this is going to be an interesting series because these are both faction play teams, widely known and respected faction play teams. GNX likes to brawl rush, from what I understand. They are a very rush heavy team. There's a lot of rush heavy teams in this division, and they're certainly one of them. CSPS is much more of a range, more like a range team, that type of thing. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup.
I reckon it's going to be great, actually. Oh, okay, right. So we've got the extra pilot just about to come into the lobby now. Let me sort that out. What I'm going to do is flick to the build. I'm going to talk about the build very quickly, which is the Bushwhacker today. Toaster's Bushwhacker.
So if I can pull it up, Smurfy link, old school. No, it's not Smurfy.
Oh, I gave you a link on the Discord.
Yes. So interesting that the arms are not armored. I would have probably put some extra armor into the arms personally, and I would definitely have armored the head. The head armor is interesting because with that little head armor, you can actually headshot in one hit if you land both things in the cockpit, and it's not particularly hard to headshot bushwhackers.
You aim the CT, you can clip the head, right?
Yes, you can easily accidentally hit it, even. So, very low head armor. That's interesting.
Yeah, I agree. You want to kind of shield that, put a little bit of that left arm armor up a bit. So
looking at the ammo distribution too, you notice there's only a half ton in the left torso. It's not entirely filled up for some reason. Now, you want that because when that ammo is spent, it still is critical protection. And even if it's not spent, it's critical protection, right? And the chance of the ammo explosion is horrifically low compared to the chance of your AC-20 being crit out. So what I'm trying to say in so many words is that it is more worth it to put ammo in there to crit pad the AC-20 than it is to not have it there.
Yeah, and the AC-20 takes up...
That may actually be a strategy. That may be a strategy to literally just go for the AC-20 and take that set off. That
well,
may
the AC-20,
be what we see people doing.
It takes up those 10 slots, and that's what it's about. It's all about the crit rolls. For those guys in the chat that are maybe sort of wondering how that works, each slot counts as a crit roll. So you've got so many more chances with an AC-20 in 10 slots versus the ammo, which is in 1 slot. So... And
the thing is, too, both mechs are boating pinpoint weapons. So when a crit is rolled for a pinpoint, it rolls that crit for the 10 damage, or it can add some extra damage. And AC-20 only is like, what, 15 or 20 HP? So theoretically, in one single penetrating hit, you can lose the AC-20, and that wouldn't be entirely uncommon to do so. So like I said, that may very well be a strat we see. We see people going for that AC-20 side.
I think the AC, I mean, you can aim the CT, but you're trying to deal with, what, 70 points of armor, plus skill tree. That's going to be about, what, 85? 85?
Very strong Bushwhacker hitboxes as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I reckon about 85, maybe nearly 90 on the CT once you skill tree it out
Yes.
fully. Very close to that. So,
Yes.
3 shots into the torso should be enough to take out the AC-20 with 30 points of damage. Well, 2.5, actually. 2.5 should do it. So, we'll see. We'll see. The guys are ready to play, so we won't keep talking too much about the builds here. We'll come back to the leaderboards and everything else in a sec. But for now, we'll get underway with the 1v1, and then we'll talk about the drops, how the rest of the game works, and all that sort of juicy, fun stuff. Good to see all you guys in the chat there. There's lots of you guys there. That's good, and good to see you guys really, really early here in the cast. So let us know who you're voting for and who you think is going to win. Now, let's get started. Hey. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Still spamming his Twitch. Oh, my God.
All right, so looking at the consumables, we have a cool shot and 2 strikes for Samurai, and for the for anti-mech, we have a cool shot and a UAV. Now, this is not a very hot running mech, so they probably won't even need their cool shots at all. In fact, I would question even taking the cool shot. That's probably even a waste of consumable slap.
Can you even pop a UAV in here? Does it even work with the roof?
I believe you can. Yes. The same way you can place strike.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, strikes work in here too, don't they? Yeah. Okay, so we have...
So they both are pretty much taking the same route. They both went high initially, and they're pretty much just both looking to get cross shots. They literally have gone to the same location. They've both gone to the exact same location, opposite side. Shots are out. They're not going to do a ton of damage at this.
Yeah, this range, especially with Snubnose, basically doing, well, kind of nothing, really. Okay, so the chase is on here.
There is a close range fight happening.
Yep.
But anti-mech does have the high ground. That is a little bit dangerous. Okay, so...
Oh, the torso and
Samuel's
CT.
going for leg. Samuel is trying to leg him.
Yep.
This is very interesting. I'm not sure how well that will end up working out for him, especially because Andy is the high ground, and he's trying to shoot his leg from the low ground.
You can easily shield yourself, very easily.
Yes.
And Andy's just waiting here. Like, he doesn't need to do anything right now. He can just watch.
Needs to drop a strike. He needs to drop a strike. He took strikes. He needs to drop them.
Yep. Just watching here. Andy's sort of looking. He can't kind of see... He can't see where Samuli is. Oh, he's popped his UAV. There you go. The UAV went up.
His UAV.
Oh, he knows where he is now. Yep. Oh, bang. Another shot. Orange CT armor here for Samuli now.
Samuli just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He really doesn't know what to do. He's in a very precarious position, but he has strikes. He just needs to play. That's why he took them. Double artillery. That's perfect.
Really stuck on the low ground here with this leg business. You can't, like you said, you can't hit the legs from here. You quite literally can't do anything. So he's backing up a little bit, try and get an angle. Now he's aiming the other leg and the CT, and Andy's dropped... Hang on, Andy's dropped down. Okay.
Right next to each other. This is a close face-to-face brawl. So the right leg on Andy is hurt, but Samuai's CT is pretty hurt. Oh, he hit... That's a good shot on the Andy-Mech's leg, though. Andy-Mech's legs are getting quite low.
Yeah, they're getting there.
He missed that shot and took a full CT hit.
Samuli, Samuli just nailed his CT then.
Leg. He got it.
He's got the leg.
So here's the problem now with this. Because they're both not identical mechs. See, he's not shooting his leg. No, he's not shooting his leg. He's one hit. Oh, he hit it again.
Oh, he got the leg. He's got the leg.
He's not. Andy's mech.
Oh, Andy goes down.
Andy's mech didn't shield his legs. He didn't shield his legs.
And you know what? He took the wrong torso off the Bushwhacker. There's a torso missing on Samuli's Bushwhacker, but it's not the right torso.
Yes.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Looking at the damage.
Oof. It's basically the same damage. Oh.
It's basically the same damage, but it's just the effective damage is not there.
Yep.
Not only did it get the wrong torso, but Andy-Mech just gave his legs out. He didn't even shield them at all.
Yeah, he could have shielded that other leg very easily there on that low ground just by, well, kind of turning to the right, really. That's all he needed to do. Okay. Okay. So, we have CSPS not having the lobby choice now. So, we'll see what side GNX want to use, and we'll go from there. And you got the torso on the Bushwhacker, but not the right one. I think that is... If you had taken the AC-20 out, it might have actually made the difference.
Well, as I was actually going to say before the match just ended, that legging a bushwhacker is precarious because it can shield.
Really well.
It can shield his dead leg very easily. It can shield the dead leg extremely easily, and like they were super close to each other, and because they're in the same mech, right? You can't really flank a bushwhacker with another bushwhacker. That's not that easy to do.
No, it doesn't
so
work.
he could have theoretically just stood there, shielded his leg, and won off of that. But he was walking around for some reason. Not sure why he was trying to do that.
Maybe he got stuck or something?
No, he didn't get stuck.
Sure. I mean, yeah, he wasn't really stuck exactly. But...
I think he panicked. Honestly,
panic?
I think he panicked.
Panic button? Bit of panic button, maybe? Forest Colony Classic. Where is it? Forest Colony Classic. There we go. There's no time of day for this one. Okay, cool. Right, now, I'm going to quickly go back to the screen cap here of the rules. So today we are on to round 5 for everyone there in the chat, which means we are going to Forest Colony Classic Kappa, which is right in the middle. Alpine Peaks Gamma, which will be very interesting. Rubelite Oasis Theta, also interesting. Terra Therma Theta, not so interesting, but it's a heavy drop, so it's going to be really solidly played out. And Tourmaline Desert Epsilon. So this is going to be pretty, quite a bunch of interesting drops here, especially with the tonnages. I'll explain very quickly how the tonnages work, if you do not know. Drop 2 is 4 light mechs, 1 medium. Drop 3 is 4 mediums and a heavy. As you see, the drops are progressively getting heavier and heavier as we go. Drop 4 is 4 heavy mechs, 1 assault. Drop 5, which is going to be the Terra match, which is going to be really interesting. 4 assaults and 1 light mech. And then drop 6 is 1 of any weight class. Sorry, 1 of each weight class. And then 1 additional any weight class. So I'm going to flick over to the map strat here very quickly for Forest Colony Classic. And I'd like to draw what you think is going to happen here. Even I know this is the most loaded question I'm going to ask you today.
All right, so Forest Colony it's a pretty straightforward map,
and it's Kappa Cap point 2 here.
What a lot of yes, which is basically beta cap for most maps.
Yeah.
So, what people like to do is generally just MPL because there's a lot of spots you can hold range. So on the water, for example, you can hold a lot of range and skirmish inland, for example, by the boat. Something like you can hold from team 1, you can hold right in this area. That's a good spot. Like a medium likes to go there generally. This is a rock you can play cover from. There's a lot of spots like that. On team 2, now you have. So here's a good spot to hold. Good spot to hold. Team 2 can go in the boat as well. So if team 1 does, my marking's a little confusing, but if team 1 doesn't leave the
I know what you mean.
I guess, yeah, if they don't leave, like, the water side, if they leave it exposed, then Team 2 can easily push in and take that. So.
Do you reckon we're going to see a lot of MPL? I mean, it is the light brawl rush map,
yes.
So...
yeah, generally, like I was saying, it's easy to pull range on this map, so you may very well see MPL, and I think that will be at least what one of the teams is going to be taking.
And this one here, the green part here, you actually got a nice... strong color there. You've even got like a nice ridge here. If you bring something with jump jets, you can abuse terrain and all sorts of stuff here. Not just cover. You can go vertical. You can go horizontal. Plenty of choices there. Plenty of choices. Actually, I'd almost say from Team 2, that rock there is actually almost advantageous being on Team 2 side if you can use it well enough. Almost. But then Team 1 does have this area here. There are some rocks there where they can do similar stuff, but it is not as good as the Charlie 3 side, the left side rocks, to do a little bit of pop-tardy, medium pulse business. I'm guessing we're going to see a K9. Irby K9 would be perfect for these spots.
Yes. A lot of teams, especially in the lower division, they like their Panther. They like the Panther a lot, the 9 medium pulse Panther 9R, and that is a mech that plays angles very well, so we may see that mech as well.
It's going to be interesting to see the mechs. Do they bring a lot of similar stuff? We saw a lot of Wolfhounds. Got a couple of Piranhas last week, as you remember, and they got obliterated in seconds. So
yes, Piranhas are a very tricky drop. Teams like them for their burst potential, but I think a lot of people don't realize they're extremely, extremely squishy. One or even one hit can potentially cripple or kill a Piranha, and 2 hits is almost guaranteed to cripple and kill it outright. So they're very, very squishy compared to something like a Wolfhound or whatever urban mech or anything like that.
Even a flea bags that can simply get out of trouble so much quicker with all that mask and that lovely little hitbox that you just can't hit like a commando as well, you know?
Yes.
Interesting. But yeah, the piranhas last week got obliterated, so I'm really interested to see, do they bring piranhas again? I'm not sure. Really don't know. Okay, I'm just having a look at the blue team's mechs here, CSPS, because I'm already there. Medium Pulse, Irby, Mislinks, Wolfhound, and a Firestarter. 7 medium laser Firestarter. Oof. Oof, okay. Right.
I think you messed up the drop.
What?
It's not. It's skirmish.
Oh, shit.
This is command. Eliminate all enemies, no matter the cost.
Yeah, I fucked it up. Oops.
Well, not even gonna talk about the mechs. Just wait till the next drop.
Yeah. Oops. Oops and daisies. Oh, I did that last week too. I forgot to change it after the bloody drop.
Losses. Don't get sloppy out there.
God damn it.
We can't lose any more soldiers. We're taking critical losses.
Oh well, this won't take too long to sort out. You can actually run out of bounds on this map, which actually makes it a hell of a lot easier. Alright. Oops-a-daisy. Get these guys to ready up really quickly. I'll change it to Conquest and not be stupid. And then we can get underway again. But as we saw from both teams, pretty much medium pulse. I mean,
No, not exactly.
Oh, not exactly?
Not exactly.
Oh, there was
took
some
a
different
close-
stuff on
I
one
took
side.
a close look at some of the mechs. Not
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
I will go over it once the drop actually starts.
Oh. All right, here we go again. On Conquest mode this time.
Round 2.
Round 2. It actually did that last week. So stupid of me to do it again. But it happens. It happens. At least they did a buck around the lobbies too. Okie dokie. We're back in again. Like a Groundhog Day. Same thing. Seven medium laser Firestarter. This is gonna be pretty hot, right? Because it is heat quirk, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it has key quirks off of memory, so it actually won't be too hot. All right, so looking at the mechs from CSPS, we have the medium laser Firestarter, a Griffin 1E, that is medium pulse, Wolfhound medium pulse, K9 medium pulse.
Oh, what?
And the
Huntsman.
Mislinks, a Mislinks G with machine guns, heavy smalls, so that's the DPS. Now for GNX, we have a medium laser javelin, a laser vomit huntsman, a laser vomit huntsman.
Yeah.
Large pulse and ER mediums.
That is
K9 medium
hot
pulse,
as balls.
Small pulse, Wolfhound 2, medium pulse.
And that
Now,
huntsman's gonna
yes,
get 2
it's hot,
alphas out. That's it.
But that's a massive amount of damage. He can open a
True.
leg in one single shot. The cap goes to GNX. They rush their flee in. Got it.
He is aiming the legs actually. Deathly's eyes,
Definitely
legs are
eyes
already
down,
pretty.
93%.
Yeah.
It's potentially good at getting leg if they give it time.
If.
They have to be aggressive and push it while it heat caps. That's the disadvantage. It'll heat
And he
cap
looks-
fast and quick, and it looks like they are.
Yeah, they're pushing him pretty
CSPS
quickly.
is charging right through the open. They are pushing.
They are not going to worry. They are not going to let Zenistu here Huntsman. And almost at this point, you basically ignore the Huntsman now because he's fired twice.
Yes.
He has to be heat capped, right? You just leave him alone.
Yes.
They're diving him anyway, though. CSPS are
Yes.
choosing to dive the Huntsman. He's already legged.
Lament on the Firestarter, super wrecked. Those
He's
legs.
already legged. They
The
took him
Huntsman
straight
is
out.
down.
And
but
Andy Mac
what
getting
did
shot.
they do?
Andy Mac getting shot in the arse here like 3 times, not even turning around. Finally turning around. Somehow isn't dead, but
Javelin
gets
is
ripped.
almost legged though. Yeah, the javelin.
Javelin's
Okay,
down.
There we go. Deathly
Bang.
Eyes Griffin, and then Javelin's dead. So right now the advantage is actually in CSPS somehow.
Huge advantage here to CSPS right now. Even though Deathly Eyes is down,
However, Andy Mech is one-shot legs
Yep.
and rear CT in that Wolfhound. The Chump is suiciding.
Jump is legged.
He's
No,
overheating.
torsoed. He's torsoed. He's shut down.
Yes. He's LFE in that Urban Mech, so he is going to be shut down for a while out of the fight. Elemental is one hit on that left leg.
Carol Baskin here
Mislinks
is
almost
hammered.
tripped
Inasuki.
CSPS. This is a close fight.
This is going to be close. Yeah, the Flea is legged here. Dubious has got no weapons left. This happened last game. They disarmed the Mislinks last week. Sorry, they disarmed the Mislinks, and that's it.
Goes down.
2-on-2 here, but one mech has no weapons. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this isn't good. Trying to look at the fight here. Dubious here is just about legged. He's only got 2 heavy small lasers left. But the Irby of Carol Baskin is basically dead as well. If he gets one shot onto the leg here, Dubious can actually kill off the Urban Mech. And he has!
Urban Mech suicide.
What?
He suicided.
Dubious has somehow, with 2 heavy medium lasers, 2 heavy smalls, killed the Irby. Torsoed it and overheated. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so Coyote's legs are super open as well. So are Chump's legs. Oh, shit. So Coyote's got lots of weapons, but no armor, whereas the other guys have got no weapons left and no armor.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Misslings took a big hit there. He should be about to go down.
No, he's still alive. Oh, Chump's going to go in the back of Coyote.
Oh,
he legs him. The Chump with the plays. Is he going to get him?
Flanking him?
They've literally got him left and right. There's nothing he can do about it.
But he gets the Urban Mech. But he goes down to the Misslings with 2 heavy smalls. That was just about dead.
Man, Misslings with the heavy small carry there.
That was close.
Oh, excuse me. Wow. Holy shit. Oh, wow. 2 heavy small laser Misslings somehow.
Close. That might have been like the closest drop I've seen in the whole series.
Yeah, by far. 1 mech at 17%. That is absolutely the closest drop so far that I've seen. Without question. Like, it's come down to the last mech sometimes, but the last mech has generally been pretty healthy. This one doesn't look very healthy to me. It doesn't look very healthy at all. He's just smoking everywhere. He's sending up smoke signals. He's on fire. His mech is wrecked. Wow. That is a huge game there for CSPS to pull out that win there. They started off strongly, fell apart in the middle, and then at the end, somehow. Wow. Interesting. Really, really interesting.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I would say CSPS played very well in rushing the Huntsman. You have to rush. You can't let it burn you from range. And they did very well to rush. Now, I don't know if killing it as fast as they did was the smart play. It probably was. Just because they can accidentally give it its back or their backs to it, and if they do, it'll literally one-shot them. So it might have been the smart play regardless. But yeah, rushing the Huntsman was possibly even the game winner.
It was super risky for them too, though, because Andy Mech got his butt nearly shot out,
and
chasing into the Huntsman.
Lot of damage. Andy Mech nearly died, and their fire starter, Elemental Jester, had both of his legs open, so they took a lot of damage.
Super risky to take off the Huntsman. I guess it fell apart for them in the mid game, but somehow at the end.
But the thing is, CSPS had quite a bit more DPS in their deck, and I think that might have been what pulled them through compared to GNX.
True. Crazy drop. Have a look at the damages here, man. This is gonna be interesting.
Feeling we're not gonna see much from. That's right, 132 from the Huntsman.
Yeah.
But Deathly Eyes and the Griffin, 92.
Dude,
You
he did get taken out.
You could even say that both teams traded medium mechs, which is actually something that's very common on this drop that teams will do. They'll literally trade medium mechs to gain any sort of advantage in the light fight or otherwise. They're almost expendable. The majority of the effort rests in the light mechs, as we see for CSPS, the Mislinks doing almost double the damage of everybody else. But GNX had more damage. If you look at their damage, GNX did a lot more damage, actually, than CSPS, which is interesting.
Well, they did have the medium pulse mech up for a little longer too, right? It just didn't quite get the damage yet. Okay. Let me Let me have a look at what map we're off to next. Alpine Peaks Gamma.
This is very, very interesting.
Alright.
I was actually just scrimming for my team in the competition earlier, and this was a map we put a lot of focus on. So
Okay, this is gonna be super interesting. Right, I'm gonna flick over to the map strat. You can do a whole bunch of doodling on this one, man, because yeah, it's Alpine Peaks. It's the Gamma cap point. Oh, and it's the medium drop, right? So we have 4 mediums and 1 heavy mech. That's all. That's all. Alpine Peaks Conquest. Okay, mate. What's gonna happen here? Like, wow.
So from team 2, immediately one of the most powerful positions on the entire map, this ridge. This ridge can see all the way across, all the way, every possible angle, like the sun. It can literally see every angle. Just one mech up there can scout the entire effective map. And countering that position is key to Team 1's success. In my honest opinion, it is very key because you deny them that scouting, and it's a powerful trade position. You can put one or multiple high mount ER-larges or Pop-Tarts up there, and they're very difficult to counter from Team 1. A common strategy that I've seen a lot of people do to counter it is strong arm. So you strong arm off of Team 1, and you literally just do this. Straight into the open. Strong arming with multiple trade mechs with the objective of going all the way through here and taking that position for themselves, actually.
I said that so early on. Like, I think it was week 1 in one of the casts that I did, that I'm going to be surprised if someone doesn't actually do that at some point, because you can do it so easily, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah. I've been waiting to see it, actually. And no team has actually just done the F12 charge, basically, is what I'm calling it. Like, to take them off the hill. If you bring mechs with better torso pitch as well, which is pretty important through sort of this purple area here and area here, there's like some pretty steep elevation. You can dislodge that team out of there pretty easy.
And control of Gamma is very difficult because both teams can go like here and here and here, and then, you know, on the ridge, and everywhere can see Gamma. It's so you're basically shooting down into a death bowl almost. But the thing is, if a team takes a mech that is fast enough to not get reset, right, by scraping it with the larges and not get reset constantly, and takes that cap, it is almost impossible to take it back.
Yep.
And on this map that's so big, where the match is generally a bit slower, the caps can easily go out of control. Very, very easily go out of control for the team that doesn't have it. And normally, a potential strategy could be, we're winning trades. We think we're going to kill them. We're going to rush them. All right, go get the other caps. But you see how far away they are from everything. Thousands and thousands of meters from the fight. So any mech that was to go and do that would be out of the fight for minutes at a time. And if the other team notices that, snap, it's game over at that point.
Well,
so
we've seen caps
very, very difficult.
Once you get to about 150 tickets, that seems to be the rough point. If you can hold out long enough for 150 tickets, you can just about win on a longer range map, because the other team, even if they beat you, can't get to the other caps quick enough to cap it to win.
That's exactly right.
So that magical number, I think that the chat needs to watch for, is about 130 to 140 tickets. Once you get to that ticket count, whoever has the tickets is in a stronger position with every single ticket they earn above about 130 to 140. Once you get to 150, you're sitting pretty sweet by then, unless you've got a 5-0 kill and they've got 150 caps, and then you can cap 5 points quickly. But that's pretty rare. I mean, if you got to that point, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so these guys are ready to go. Wow.
Both teams
okay.
are ready. Tonnages in the lobby are very similar.
Yep, very similar tonnage. No crazy business here. Man, I'm excited to see the medium drop on Alpine Peaks.
Yes, it's a very interesting drop, actually. It seems linear, but it's actually interesting. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. And lock-ons are allowed on this, I believe. They're allowed.
Yep.
So we could even see a streak mech We could even see ATMs or even LRMs. All are viable, especially with the inclusion of that vaunted heavy mech.
Hmm. Now, do you bring a fast heavy or do you go a tanky heavy? It's
Yes.
do you go with a tanky heavy that can do some heavy trading, or do you not? You know, that's the, or go the fast heavy, which, you know, like linebackers or something, which has you know, a bit less firepower because of such a big fat engine, but you're mega fast. So, do you think about maybe even an ER peeps linebacker, perhaps get into position really quickly?
Perhaps. Absolutely.
Well, your favorite, the Ice Ferret, also a good option in the fast ER peeps department.
All right, so looking at
okay.
GNX, they have a Crab 27, Bushwhacker P1, Trebuchet 7M. I have a feeling what that is.
Yeah, so do I.
6M. So, the Crab for GNX is double AMS. That is smart. All right. Dervish, medium pulse, AMS, Bushwhacker, AMS, SRMs. They brought a lot of SRMs. And yes, looking at the Trebuchet, it is twin LRM-15s and an LRM-10. Interesting, though, that they did not bring an ARC. And interesting, if you look at the ammo count, the ammo count is very, very low. Only 1,380 missiles. That's actually quite low.
Only 1,300? That's going to be a problem.
Yes, only 1,300. That will probably be a problem. Now, looking at for CSPS really quickly, Rifleman 2C2, AC2s, that is a common pick, strong one, Uziel, medium pulse, Dervish, medium pulse, Griffin, medium pulse, Vulcan, medium pulse, heavy, medium pulse deck, and I have a feeling they're going to try and rest cap control. But the thing is, that Trebuchet with the LRMs, there's no cover. There's little. There is some in the city, but there's not much.
But you know what?
Trebuchet is going to have a field day.
Samouli's not going to get up here in time to actually deny the cap. So yeah, they've got the lurms and there's no
gonna
cover.
Get it.
But CSPS are going to take the cap here. That's pretty important.
Yes.
That's pretty big.
Yes, that is very big on this map, as we talked about, because it's very hard to take it back.
And you know, the other thing is with the Rifleman 2C with the AC2s, when he gets to position, which is going to be about another 17 minutes.
And they know that they have
they can't counter it. I really don't think that GNX is going to be able to counter the AC2 Rifleman at all. And they're all, this is the interesting thing too. GNX are all SRMs.
Yes.
CSPS are MPL. They've got the better range here.
CSPS has a vast range advantage, cap advantage, and position advantage.
But look at CSPS. They have moved right up into the low ground edge cover.
GNX needed to actually rush really quickly before this Rifleman gets into position. They need to be like, we don't see anything. We
Airstrike.
And now the Rifleman is in position.
Airstrike on Dubious.
80% of Dubious Scroll. That is a good strike. Strikes are very powerful in this drop because that city is like one of the only sources of cover. And as we saw, he gets hit behind the cover. And as we see, CSPS is abusing the city for cover. Look at that. They're all hiding behind the city. That's a good play. Exactly what I would do.
Oh, that airstrike just missed Lamental. Look at that.
Barely
Just missed him. Just missed him. But Andy Mick is now in position.
Caps are ticking. Caps are ticking. Time is ticking. It's a big map. CSPS's Rifleman is going in.
Here we go. GNX are pushing. Andy Mick is in position with AC2s.
It's kind of a split push, though. The linebacker's way out in front. They're wide. Look at that. They're quite wide.
And CSPS know that they're coming, but they're not doing anything about it.
Yes.
They're not repositioning.
There's a big strike on GNX. That might do some damage. I'm not sure.
They're not repositioning at all.
Look at how far ahead some of GNX's
definitely Eyes is in trouble.
The others. Look at how far behind the Crab is. The Crab is very far behind. He is catching up. But the Bushwhacker, 79%. He's actually quite hurt, 74.
Definitely Eyes getting wrecked there.
He is down, though.
Wrecked.
He gets taken down with that massive amount of DPS.
Yeah, absolutely wrecked there. Andy Mick is belting them down with AC2s from range.
And the Dervish is dying very
Jesus,
quickly
the
from
chump.
CSPS.
Oh, dear me.
And that LRM Trebuchet is doing a ton of damage. The Bushwhacker does go down, but the chump in that Javelin, or Dervish does go down. Now the Vulcan is being LRM'd. The linebacker just got legged. Vulcan just got...
So the linebacker's legs.
Vulcan goes down. So
Vulcan
right now,
dead,
the massive advantage is in favor of GNX. And now the Uziel is being focused by LRMs. The Uziel is going to go down.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. This is not good.
It's just the Rifleman left.
So we've got the Dervish is legged, the linebacker's legged, the Crab is fresh as a daisy, and what's the ammo like on the Trebuchet? You can't have much ammo left, right? He can't have
500 rounds. He still has enough.
He's got enough. He's got enough. Okay, so Andy can deny the cap for a while.
No, he can't, because if we look in I-11,
Oh, I
there's
know.
a
I
mech
see the
that is
crabbers
going
coming up.
around.
I do. I see the crabbers coming
Yeah,
up.
the rifleman's dropping.
Oh, I'm not sure this is a good idea right now. Oh, maybe. It might play out here. The crab has to come all the way back.
No, he just walked into the linebacker,
Oh,
and
dear.
boom,
Oh.
down. That's
Oh, wow.
it.
Oh, shit.
You can't do that in a rifleman. You
No.
have to abuse your range.
I feel like
Absolutely
if he-
demolished. That was destruction.
I feel
in
like if Andy
favor
went
of
up here,
GNX.
up to the top of the hill, like ran up the hill rather than dropped off the hill, that might have been a bit more advantageous.
I still don't think he could have done it because that trebuchet would have, as soon as someone got a target lock, pound, 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 LRMs go to Pound Town, farm.
True.
It was that LRM trebuchet was massive for GNX. I have a feeling we're going to see that reflected in his damage. He was instrumental in their success.
Yep.
But also, CSPS didn't have much
positioning.
scouting. I don't know if they just weren't paying attention to the lack of I don't know, like if Andy wasn't paying attention to where they were, what their force was, if they just didn't see it or what. But their scouting was very minimal, and their position to receive it, they should have had plenty of advance warning. And I guess they didn't. They didn't really get in a good position to receive it. They needed to pull range, and they just didn't.
So what I'm looking at here on the mini map, on the map, right, is all where CSPS mechs have died, right? They're all medium pulse lasers, and they basically have all died in the building position where they started. They did not
think they
move
saw the
at all.
LRM trebuchet, and they were afraid of it. They were afraid of being hit by the LRM trebuchet.
Yep. If they repositioned and basically rolled back to the right, basically to where Andy died, that would have been a hell of a lot better for them, drawing all the SRM brawl mechs into the open for Andy essentially to shred while they backpedal with medium pulse. Would have gone a lot better for them.
Like, they had the perfect deck to do it.
Yeah, literally.
They were afraid.
Yep.
And they had the rifleman. They had the rifleman. They had the range advantage. They were just afraid. I think they were just afraid.
Of one mech with looms.
And unfortunately, that fear...
One mech with looms.
one mech without... You say one mech without arms, but that mech does a lot of damage.
Oh, I know.
As far as I'm concerned, it largely won them that drop. So, like I said, I have a feeling that's going to be reflected in the damage scores, but...
Oh, definitely. The Treb didn't stop firing the entire time. It's just constant. I'm actually surprised he didn't run out of ammo at 1300, down at 500 in the end. I would have thought it'd been a bit lower.
Well, there wasn't even much downtime, to be honest. He was just shooting at targets.
There wasn't a lot of trading time of DPS
exactly right.
for those LRMs. They kind of got him out the way pretty quickly.
And that is a decisive, very strong win in favor of GNX. Looking at the damage. Actually, the linebacker did the most. The trebuchet did a lot. The trebuchet did a lot.
Yeah.
The linebacker did more. Now, Andy mech, in that ACT rifleman, he actually did put out the damage. It didn't look like it, but that mech does damage.
Oh,
fast.
yeah. It racks up damage.
But looking at the rest of his team, they just crumpled. Their medium lance could not keep it together, and they just crumpled.
They got really well focused.
Clearly, that rifleman was not enough. Because they still had fresh mechs. They still had fresh mechs in GN. Maybe if the medium lance had lived maybe even a bit longer, the match could have easily turned, but they just kind of died.
Yeah.
And one of your versus those SRMs should have clearly seen those SRMs rushing, should have even had target locked. It's like, oh, they have SRMs. You have to retreat at that point. You don't have a choice. You do not have a choice, or that is what happens.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? SRM linebacker, whilst it's not extremely accurate with SRMs and no Artemis, and SRM 6s for clans spread like ridiculous, but he had all his weapons. Even though he was legged, he still had all his weapons the entire time there. So that's... It just free
they were
range.
trying to leg him. They were trying, which is not a bad idea, but they just didn't pull enough range.
It's a good idea if you're going to pull range on him. If you're not going to pull range on him, it's kind of just aim the CT or the torso and just kill him.
Exactly right. Even if they'd taken off his torso, he would have just been almost eliminated at that point.
Right. Go back to the map strat, do a little bit of drawing, and I'm going to reset the lobbies here for these guys. Get them ready for the next drop. Which is Rubelite Oasis, Theta. Ooh, okay. There's Rubelite here in the list.
This is the heavy drop.
Yep, so this drop is drop four. So 4 heavy mechs, 1 assault mech. So what do we have on the map strat? Wow, okay. That was GNX. This was...
So I do want to talk about GNX's deck just really quick.
Yep.
Once again, they brought a lot of AMS, and normally I would advise against ever bringing single AMSs on mechs. You always want to put it on a boat because generally they have quirks and you're taking valuable tonnage away. But in this instance, especially with their strategy, it was actually a very good call. The dual AMS Crab, the AMS on the Dervish and the Bushrock, that's 4 AMS total. So if CSPS tried to LRM, that would have, those 4 AMSs would have chewed it up. This is maybe the one situation where I could potentially justify seeing that.
Well, it can actually work. It can actually work as well with SRMs. Granted, it's not as good.
No, you need more AMS.
You need more AMS. You do need
much
more
AMS.
Yeah. But say if there's only got one,
boats.
say they've only got one SRM mech on their team, right? And it's only say SRM 3 or 4 tubes. That's it. You could almost knock out 25% of his damage if it's in a tight brawl. If. It's hard, but can be done. Or ATMs. If you had 4 AMS, actually would take out, in the right position, a decent amount of ATMs as well. Right.
So
Map straight up.
at Rubelite. I just refreshed it. It's still an outline.
Oh, sorry. Let me... Oh, okay. We're not going to draw the Rubelite. Sorry, the Alpine drop. We'll go to Rubelite's Conquests. Conquest point is Theta. Smack bang in the middle. And you know what? This is going to be good.
A very interesting dichotomy on this map. This is a highly unbalanced because Team 2 has coverage, entire coverage on Theta because it's positioned on a backward slope facing Team 2. So they can literally, because it's the soul cap, they can just permanently deny it, potentially. And the enemy would have to heavy strong arm the Theta cap to actually get it back. So that is something Team 1 has to play around. So I have a feeling on Team 1, they will be aware of this, and they will be taking a very heavy push deck, even potentially missiles, something like that. Just something to strong arm past Theta.
Which route would you take? Would you sort of take this D5 region or use the low ground and sort of pop up behind here?
Something like a summoner or like a flanking heavy. A summoner or like a laser vomit linebacker, those are both very strong going along those routes, anywhere along here. And there will usually be like a ranged mech back here and then back here. These are the prime trading spots for both sides.
And really good
and
too,
can see
actually.
most of the map from
Really
either
good.
side.
Yeah.
And so you can take a summoner or a linebacker. You can pressure those positions. This is a dangerous area for Team 2. You can ambush there. If they push too far, Team 1 into Team 2, you can ambush. Likewise, Team 2 can ambush in this area. So, and the middle ground here is just a kill. It's just a kill zone. I've seen teams push into there, and you just get straight up demolished because there's so much firepower and armor. It looks like both teams are ready.
Yeah,
and
I was going to
they're
say, just this
355 tons. Very interesting.
little area here, that a little green box is just, you just don't want to ever be.
Yes.
You do not want to be there under
And
any circumstances.
Underneath the platforms is potentially a good position, as is going super wide. You can potentially take a linebacker and just go like, just like that, all the way through super wide, and it will remain unspotted. Likewise, you could go like that, and that can be done on either one side or the other. That can be done on both sides. So.
And you've even got some good little trading spots here as well that I've just sort of drawn in green on either, roughly from here, from either side as well. So little nooks and crannies you can poke out of with, you know, say mid-range.
There's a lot of angles to play, like a high amount of laser vomit or ER large mech.
Or even DACA, like you can do some strong DACA trading off those posts.
Yes,
very,
absolutely.
very strongly. Ooh, well, we're underway. Droppers about to kick off. So 4 heavies and 1 assault. Let's see how it's going to play out. Do they bring a super big fat annihilator and push with it? Or do they go faster and get aggressive early? I think that's basically what we're going to see here. Heavy,
That is right.
heavy and firepower, or sort of more fasty, aggressive. Probably the only 2 ways to really play this map out. At least in this division anyway, Div C. That's what we're probably going to see from these guys. I don't think we're going to see too much ER PPC, sort of ER large sort of trading on this map. Only Only because for these teams so far this season, it hasn't gone very well for them trying to do that sort of stuff. So, I mean, look, I could be wrong. they might very well do it, but it hasn't gone so well, especially for CSPS, who aren't too bad at trading. It just hasn't gone that well for them so far this season.
Looking at the max CSPS, a PPC linebacker,
Okay.
a summoner,
Okay.
PPCs, I believe. If I can find it.
Okay.
Yeah, Ultra 10 summoner, DACA Blood Asp, quick draw 5k with medium pulse.
Okay, so on the CSPS side, we've got some of these mechs here. The CSPS like to do this.
No, the Blood Asp is quad PPC ECM, Grasshopper, Laser Bomb, quick draw, medium pulse, and then GNX. Annihilator with PPCs, the 1P, Hard Trader, Hellfire with SRMs, Fast Rusher, but very squishy, Linebacker, SRM4 Artemis, Rifleman, DACA, or AC2s, and then Jaegermech AC2s.
Yeah, I didn't click on it quick enough.
So this is interesting.
A Jaegermech!
No, the quick draw is actually Laser Bomb, and I take that back. You'll let your medium.
A Jaegermech.
Lots of mid-range from CSPS. So and they're on the bad side of Theta. So this is going to be very interesting how they choose to approach this. They have a linebacker pushing it, but it doesn't matter because
look at the
GNX
linebacker
has
here,
their
though.
Hellfire, and they have another linebacker, and the linebacker is just getting farmed. He's just getting farmed, just as I said. He's taking so much damage. 81, 78%, just like that. Snap of a finger, but the Hellfire, he just ran to try and get some hits, and he just took 73%
now.
himself.
73% now.
Yeah, he got a hidden.
Wow.
Just like that, as I was saying, you try and contest from that bad side, snap,
You're gonna lose.
Get farmed,
Yep.
and that is what happened.
Yeah, you
It's
basically
a lot of spread damage.
you have
but
to
it's
give
a
up
lot
that
of
cap.
damage nonetheless.
You have to give up that cap from Team 1.
Yes.
You can't contest it.
Yes.
But look at the build here from Spherod on the linebacker. SRM4s with Artemis.
Yes, I did
so
call that
much
out,
tonnage.
and that is
much tonnage eaten up.
that's about the same as 6's.
Oh,
He's
it's way
probably
better in
doing
terms
more
of
like
spread.
a mid-range skirmisher. He's playing about a mid-range skirmisher, I would guess, with that. Not gonna
Way
hard
better.
rush, because normally with the SRM6s, you have to kind of skirmish.
Now looking at some of the CSPS builds here on their laser mechs. They're trying to trade with like only 2 ER large or 3 ER large with the Grasshopper against maximum range AC2s and ER peeps. I feel like these hybrid builds are not really working for them because I mean you want 5 ER large if you're going to trade. You want maximum damage for your exposure time, and they're not getting that at all here. I feel.
Yes.
I know they like their mixed range builds with
Now,
this.
an interesting thing though,
Oh.
the mechs of GNX is with the Rifleman and the Jaegermech. A weakness
Uh-oh.
of those mechs is their arms. The
Look what
arms
we have.
are a heavy weakness on both mechs.
Dude, Coyote and
Oh,
Spheroid
yeah.
here, GNX in the back. You have any mech and I haven't seen it.
Yo, this is gonna be
hasn't seen
huge.
it?
They haven't seen them.
Oh,
they have
no,
now
they've
seen
seen
them,
them now.
but he didn't get
Uh-oh.
the back shot off.
Oh, Andy mech,
Oh,
CT gone.
it's gonna turn
dear.
bad.
Oh dear, this is bad.
But this is maybe turning bad though because the Blood Asp is shooting, maybe, but they're gonna drop down.
Oh, this is
No,
bad.
that was very good. That was incredible trade. Anyway,
Oh, Andy did.
30%.
Yep.
He's down.
And they're
He's
getting
just
taken out.
Dead.
Oh dear, that's
And now
Oh,
they're
dear.
hard pushing up.
yeah. Now GNX have massive map control here, and they can just move in.
Yes.
Definitely eyes is 57%.
However, look at GNX's 2 mechs here. They're in the low ground. And
should die here.
CSPS knows this. They have to go. They have to go
have
now.
to dive them. Yep.
Now. Have to kill them. They
They-
have to before they get away, and they're
You know
not
what?
going to do it because
They're not
they're
gonna do
actually
it.
so fast. And CSPS seems to be just stunned. They did a good shot in the back of the linebacker, not enough. Another shot on the Hellfire PPCs. Oh, they are getting some shots though as they retreat.
Nearly enough,
Nearly,
but not. Nearly, but not.
No, not quite enough.
Oh
and
dear.
They will pretty much get away. That was a
The
phenomenal trade
linebacker's
from GNX.
pretty wrecked though. He's lost a lot of structure
And
from
if we
getting shot
notice,
in the
CSPS
ass.
didn't really even have much map control either.
No,
They're
they've
just
lost it
kind
now.
of they were just kind of huddled.
I'm just moving over here to where Samuli and Zenistu are here on the right-hand side. They've kind of now corralled the entire map for CSPS. They can't do
Yes.
anything now.
This Rifleman is actually pushed up very far though. This Rifleman is pushed up very far, but he has an Annihilator behind him. GNX has taken a lot of damage, but it's a lot of spread damage. The Summoner is still pretty fresh for
Okay, so Inazuki in the Yagamech actually has
Well,
an
that's
open
some
torso
spread
here, so that could
yes.
that could be nasty later. I'm assuming it's an XL build, so And look, hang on. Look what we have here. We have the Hellfire and linebacker coming in for round 2.
Yes, they're going in for round 2.
Oh,
and
they're not
CSPS
they're
is
hungry.
not watching, but they do have some distance.
Oh, no, they
do
know
have
they're
some
coming.
distance.
They've turned around. They've seen him in time.
They see it. Oh, they need to stop this push. They
Oh, dear.
definitely
Eyes
down.
taken out.
No, he
Oh,
took
yeah.
so much damage initially that he is eventually taken out by this Annihilator and the Riflemen, who are lumbering up. CSPS is getting pinched in a corner. Look at that. They've ceded all map control.
No
all
map
the mechs
control.
are basically
None.
the same exact grid square. They have 3 mechs left. This is looking very, very bad for CSPS right now.
And we've just crossed basically the 140 caps as well. So even if CSPS somehow pull it off here, which I don't think they are going to,
It's
GNX
4
have it in the bag.
minutes, 145, 146.
They're NSRing. We see some NSR here on the Blood Ash here.
Yes.
4 ER PPCs.
And this is a very good move.
Gets down.
He does go down, and the linebacker's going to go down too, but they're inflicting a lot of damage, and they have the map, so this is fine, I think, what they're doing.
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
And
now
boom,
we've got shots in the
Blood Ash
ass.
is being shot in the back.
Lamento's getting shot in the ass badly here. Getting absolutely
and
pumped.
he goes down from being shot in the rear.
In the butt.
And this match is going to go, again,
Is this
a
going to be
decisive victory to GNX.
5-1? I think it is.
Yes.
Is the chunk going to live?
5-1.
Oh, no. You get another kill down at the end.
Down.
Kills are important.
5-2.
Kills are important, so...
Kills are important.
Kills are very important. They could matter for points at the end, although I don't think Chump's going to kill anything else now, surely. Surely not. Surely not. Surely not. He's one touch in the leg. He's getting shot in the butt. In the CT now. In the legs.
And very short, and that's a wall.
And the legs
He's
gone.
legged.
Yep.
Game. It's gonna be
That's
game,
it.
set, and match.
Ooh.
Another very decisive victory
Yep.
from GNX.
Yep. Very strong from GNX.
GNX is looking very strong. I can't remember the last time I've seen them this strong. This is excellent performance so far from GNX. They are quite literally trashing CSP. Outplaying, outflanking, outcapping.
Look at the numbers.
Damages, very strong for GNX. 560, 552, 535, even 400 on that linebacker. That Hellfire, he didn't get a lot because that mech is squishy, but he did his role. Looking at CSPS, just not the same. The quick draw. Somehow it is the quick draw that does the most damage, which is a sobering tale.
I think that could almost be put down to an airstrike, because, I mean, 2 ER large ain't racking up 500 damage. It's just not going to do it.
Well, he had all the mediums, too, so he probably laser vomited a whole bunch, but...
Ooh.
Brutal stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Very powerful performance from GNX.
All right. Draw what happened on the map there for the people at home. And maybe a little bit of what not to do as well, because that theta cap early from Team 1...
See, I
20%,
lost track.
20%.
I was watching some of the other stuff, and I lost track of that push. So I'm not entirely sure where the push came from.
Oh, I can draw that.
I believe
the initial
the push came
initial brawl,
from,
you mean? The initial brawl came like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It went from there, and they basically, I think they went like
the low ground. Sorry, the
all
low
way
ground.
around.
Sorry,
They might
the low
or
ground.
like through there, somewhere
ground.
through there.
Yeah.
I didn't see exactly. I'll be honest with you. And really though, that linebacker taking almost 30% at the start of the match in a 5v5, that is huge. That mech, it is deceptively squishy, I would say. People like to think it's very tanky, and it can be a lot. And that's mainly due to its animations and how it moves around, kind of slides around. It's not really that tanky of a mech, generally speaking. And if you take a lot of damage on it early, that racks up quickly.
I was going to say, it's not very tanky if you eat 25% in the first 3 seconds of the game, right?
Right, and a lot of it went to a CT, and it has a relatively large CT, so... And relatively easy to leg. Legs don't have quirks. It's not the tankiest mech. It is tanky, and the speed is part of it, but just taking that damage in that linebacker...
It's tanky in terms of it's got really good quirks.
They tried to contest Theta, but they did not realize the critical error that you just cannot from that.
So basically we had from Team 1 was the CSPS linebacker came up here and just ate 20% and had to drop
30%,
back down in here. Back down in here. And that did allow, as we sort of said, the I think they came around this way, the GNX guys.
And because the linebacker took so much damage, right, he didn't want to be as aggressive, right? When you take that much damage, you get scared, and then you can't project as much presence on the flanks. That linebacker would have been a very powerful mech, to screen the push of the Hellfires, or the Hellfire and the linebacker.
And I'm just drawing basically what GNX then did with all their mechs in those backward positions, just slowly advanced. No need to go super balls to the wall rush. Slow pressure after what was in yellow, a massive kill up here on Andy Mech, killing him off, allowed basically the entire GNX team to just slow merge. Just that's all it was. Slow, calculated.
Yes.
No need to rush in.
And not screening that push. They knew they had those mechs. They knew they had those two brawlers, the Hellfire, or at least even if they didn't, they should have known, and they should have been screening for that. That's 2/5 of those mechs hard brawl on a map where that's actually very difficult to pull off because of the long sight lines, of the long range, right? So you need to be aware, okay, they have those mechs, they have the cap. What do we need to do? You need to be screening for that, trying to win trades where we can, and screening. You have to screen for that, or that is what happens. Those two mechs basically won them the game.
As Team 1, I really think that if you know that the other guys have two brawlers, and like you said, they did at the very start of the game, you have to be watching that. Like, what they should have had, I think, is almost the summoner for CSPS should have been up here on this side instead of having
the summoner and linebacker should have gone wide.
Yep, they should have gone a little bit
needed to
further
go
out.
wide and cover angles because that's what those two mechs are good at, especially in this 5v5 format, single cap, is covering angles.
I don't know where the summoner was. I think the summoner was over here, maybe? I'm not entirely sure, actually. Not sure.
Summoner moved up, but only... No, the summoner was actually still quite far back.
Oh, right.
To be honest, as I recall, it was actually still quite far back.
So now we had the quick draw and the grasshopper up here, and those were the two guys with only 3 ER large. And I want to touch on that really quickly as well. If you get an ER large. Don't have just 3.
I think,
you're losing your trades.
They took laser bomb, and I think they wanted to strong arm with their laser bomb, but they didn't. I don't know why, but they didn't.
Well, would you, instead of ER large though, would you just bring large and ER mediums and go for the more heat efficient laser push?
No, the difference is not that much in heat. It's like 3 or 4 heat. It's not that much, or I think it might be a little more than that. Maybe it's like 6 or 7. It's not a whole. The ER larges give you utility for those longer range trade shots for free, for example, but they're not traders to be relied on. And
they weren't free. That every 3 ER large trade was eating 4 ER peeps back. So
that's right.
Little bit of a loss of economy there. Anyway, we're going to Terra Therma. Let's do some quick drawing on this one because it's the big fat assault drop. 4 assaults, 1 light. What's going to happen here?
415 for GNX, 390 for CSPS.
All right, do some doodling. What do you reckon? 4 assaults. How do you play it out? What do you do?
There are a lot of different ways to play this.
Yeah.
So this is an unbalanced map.
Yes.
Just like the previous. So, Team 1 has much better axis and coverage of Theta due to natural cover placement than Team 2. Team 2 is to basically run out in the open in front of Team 1's best hiding and peeking spots in order to take it. So, looking at the teams too, interesting. The CSPS has Team 2 and GNX has Team 1, so they're on the better side again. And that's an interesting thing. I want to touch upon that really quickly about that 1v1 because that determines map side. And with some of these maps, as imbalanced as they are, that means when you win that 1v1 and you go like, okay, I want the better side on Rube, and then you can immediately pick the better side on Terra Therma, well, that just gives you access to that cap, and that forces the enemy to play into your hand, especially if they're not ready or prepared for it, as CSPS was not ready or prepared.
So I've just done some really quick little drawing of the cover points from Team 1. You have all the purple points are all points where you have solid hard cover to trade from and behind all game. Everyone says Team 1's bad. I actually really like it because you have 2 options to trade on lots of rocks there.
Now, Team 1 is decidedly the stronger side on Terra Therma. Decidedly, they have the much better power positions. They have much better angles, much better hard cover, and again, control of Theta.
Everyone thinks Team 2 is strong. I mean, I like Team 2 side as well. It depends how you play it.
Team 2 has advantages, but you have to play both sides differently and with a different mindset, just like.
And you know what else I forgot about? The up high mech. You can jump up the volcano here, which we saw last season.
That's another one of those spots I was mentioning. Is that how Team 2 has more of those spots, or Team 1? Yeah, Team 1
Yeah.
has more spots.
Little
and teams
sneaky
play
spots
smart,
where you
but
can
that's one of those
do
places.
sneaky shit, you know?
I
Like
don't think
stuff
that I don't think that spot is that strong. We
Yep.
have seen some okay use from it,
Yep.
but I don't think that spot is that strong. However, I may be proven wrong.
We did see
seems
it
to be a
last
new
season.
spot. It needs to be a new spot for teams, relatively new. So we'll see if either one of these guys takes more advantage of it in this draw.
We did see last round. Last season, last comp was what was it? There was a learn something up in that spot when I think it was like 8v8 or something, and that was decidedly different. Like up there in that little spot, just farm damage all bloody game. It was ridiculous.
So looking at
GNX,
a Brawl Cyclops 10Q, hard SRMs, a Kodiak 3. That is an interesting choice from GNX. However, actually, quite a strong one. And it has quad LB10s moving 69 kph. That is fast. They've taken a hard push deck, Executioner, Wolfhound, and a Llama Leche? A Banshee Llama Leche. That is not a mech I have ever seen anyone playing competitive ever before in the entire history of this game.
Ever.
I've never seen anyone play that mech.
Me either.
Executioner, Small Pulse Micro LB20, perfect build. Llama Leche, Medium Pulse, AC10, Emerald 40. It actually is pretty strong quirks and it's fast, 70 kph. They took a fast, hard YOLO deck, which is interesting because they got the good side, but they're gonna push into the bad side.
Yep. We're gonna YOLO in. Okay.
So that's very interesting. Now CSPS, talk about their mechs. Cyclops, undergunned for some reason. 3 UAC 5 and a UAC 10. Strange build. Blood Asp, Daka, Madcat, Daka, Annihilator 2A, Daka, Flea, medium lasers, just contesting that theta cap.
You know what though?
And ECM, medium
if
ECM.
GNX push in, they can actually set up a bloody good firing line for CSPS. That G6 is actually almost anti-push. It's anti-push. It's anti-push.
So
yeah.
GNX has to be careful. And look at that, GNX Wolfhound, 75%. Probably took a very heavy strike or a heavy beating from that Flea.
Let me have a look here. It is
mostly spread damage,
massive airstrike,
but...
and no, you know what? And a headshot. So the airstrike hit the head.
Okay.
Look at this.
And they're pushing.
They're pushing already.
They've taken almost no return fire.
Oh wow.
What is CSPS doing?
They don't know it's coming.
But the Kodiak is tanking. That's not good. Oh, the Kodiak's taking a ton of damage.
Dude, that Kodiak is not going to live. Oh, this is what you want.
Kodiak needed to be further behind, not tanking. That mech does not tank very well, and it'll be dead shortly.
Okay, it's NSR time. So Junior Squirrel is not in position to shoot.
The Kodiak is down.
Definitely
they
eyes.
haven't even done very much serious damage. Now the Executioner, and they're just being concave. This is a concave.
This is pretty good for CSPS now. They're finally set up. It took them a really long time to set up, actually. Longer than it should have.
The Annihilator's not even that hurt. And now
oh dear, Coyote getting slapped.
This Madcat might have overextended, though. This Madcat may actually have overextended. They need
turned
to
him
kill
around.
His arms.
It stopped the push.
Okay, they're going for his arms quickly. Carol Baskin and that Cyclops targeting his arms very well. Take off those arms. Ignore.
You know what it's done though with the Mad Cat? It stalled the push. It stalled the push.
Are they ignoring it? Yes, they're ignoring it. Executioner though, they're strung up. This is not going very well.
There goes the Banshee.
But the Banshee goes down. It's literally just the Wolfhound and the Cyclops. Brutal stuff.
Only Cyclops left. That's it, really. I mean, 41% Wolfhound ain't going to do much at this point.
Nope.
But that Deathly Eyes, though, is still alive. He was in the open the entire time. I mean, he's stripped,
the one that was focused. And I believe he has still weapons.
No, I think he's gone.
Let me see.
The Annie? No, he's dead.
No, he's stripped. Never mind.
He's Daka Annie.
He had weapons for a long time, though. They just weren't able to kill him.
Yep. And Carol Baskin is dead, and I think the Flea's his leg, too. Sorry, the Wolfhound, I mean. Sorry, the Wolfhound is leg, too. Yeah.
And that is a wash.
Oh, wow.
See,
that was a really bad push there.
That's the strategy to throw them off guard, but that's the thing though. When you're on team 1, it is more difficult to push into team 2 because, as you may have noticed, team 2 has lots of prime open space. And we know what happens.
They almost did the wrong strat for the wrong team side. If they had swapped teams around, this would have been significantly different.
Teams, this would have been much, much stronger off of GNX.
Yeah.
Just due to physical map obstacles.
Yeah, I think they've got the teams wrong, maybe. Maybe they thought they were on team... I don't know.
They wanted to surprise them.
I know what they were... Yeah, I know what they were trying to do, but...
shock tactic surprise attack.
You can't shock anyone from that G6 from Team 2, though.
That's right.
You know it's coming because you have to cross so much
Especially
ground.
with the light, it's like,
Yeah.
well, they're gonna see any push, and they set up, and they kind of just walked into their concave a little.
Hey.
I would have perhaps even just not gone forward at that point, and just retreated.
Oh.
Perhaps hid behind the hill, gone doubled back, looking at the damages.
Oh, dear me. That's not good.
The Kodiak.
Jesus.
That LB10 Kodiak, that is a very good portion of their effective DPS taken off the field. You cannot lead the charge in a Kodiak. That definitely hampered their chances. Somehow, the La Malinche did 700 damage before he went down. That is a lot of damage. Cyclops, 500. Nothing else. Very impressive on CSPS. Blood
Previous there, 759 in the Blood Ass.
400s for the DACA.
Even Andy
even the Flea did 300.
Even the Mad Cat there that basically stalled the CSPS push by basically us diving into them and losing his arms, still pulled out 500. That's not too bad.
Yep.
I'd say that's worth it. To stop the push, turn two mechs around and take out 500 damage is worth
the
it.
thing is, that is dangerous. If GNX had been like, all right, we need to be a little bit more cautious. We need to just slow down and not go into the concave of that. And if they had just stalled, that Mad Cat could have literally committed suicide.
If they didn't push around that corner and turned around, very different. Very, very different.
Yes.
All right, draw on the map what happened for us, mate, while I get the lobby ready with that drop. Almost the wrong strat for the wrong team. Almost.
Yes. So, looking at team
Where are we going next? Tourmaline Desert.
Just did straight through and straight through. As far as I could tell, that's the route they took. And CSPS, they had their heavy DACA, you know, here, here, here. And I think they even had a mech like here, like the Flea, and that's, well,
they had the Flea right up here, right? They had the Flea right up here, and he saw them coming. He knew what was coming straight away.
And the thing is, too, GNX's Wolfhound took a lot of damage. You have to be so careful eating strikes in those light mechs. He got lucky, but
oh, jeez, that's pretty much it.
It's pretty much execution style. They pretty much just marched across the map into their death.
Yeah, we did see Andy drop in, just draw that there. Andy dropped into the back, turned two GNX mechs around. I think, like you said, if they had turned all of the mechs around and GNX had have stopped just for the second, they could have deleted a Mad Cat off the field and almost traded a Kodiak for a Mad Cat.
Yes.
Might have played out differently.
Kodiak still should not have charged. That was very poor on the part of their formation, I guess.
That was the biggest NSR from a Kodiak I've ever seen.
Yeah, he had balls of steel, but Kodiak is the least tanky of those mechs, and he had the most range DPS and the most effective DPS, especially as the fight scales. That Kodiak needed to be behind his friends.
Right, now
instead he was in front.
We have maybe a little bit to talk about here, because we're now off to Tourmaline Desert, and later is the cap point. So we're on the last drop of the day, which is drop 6. So one of each weight class. So they've got one heavy, medium, small, and assault. And then they can choose from another weight class. So another assault, another medium, another heavy.
So Tourmaline, very heavily played map in classic MWO competitive.
Yep.
Especially in the World Championship Series. Many teams have played in that. Many players have played in that. Even players that are playing today have played Tourmaline, very heavily picked map. Should be very well known. But there's a twist. The cap is Epsilon, not Theta.
Oh, really?
Theta is essential.
Oh, shit! No, you're right! No, right, I was fucking it up. It is Epsilon this week.
Theta has always, in traditional competitive, been a focal point for action
I missed
on
it.
Tourmaline.
That changes everything!
It is Epsilon. Everything changes. Normally, on E4 Hill, frequently referred to as CSJ Hill, because way back in the day, that was a hill they pretty much just stacked mechs and spammed off of. That is a very strong hill. So, looking off, we could see something like a heavy DACA push all the way across. Teams have done that many times in the past. Still did. This is the heavy drop. This is the drop to do it. Heavy push. And something else you could see is double light or double medium packing around Epsilon. Because an interesting thing about Epsilon is there's a lot of spots to poke from. There's a lot of angles that I'm gonna draw them all here, all the little spots where you can poke,
move around
Yes.
from all these areas, even up here in the back in
That's
C4
right.
you can poke from.
And C4 is a very good position to put a range mech. So all the
And
way
vision
back
everywhere.
here, for example.
Yep.
All the way back here. Good position for range mech. Right here, strong position to counter a CSJ push or a range presence. Now, another good spot is back here, all the way at the back. That has sight of a lot of the map.
E3,
And an interesting
yes,
thing
yes.
I've seen teams do is move a mech like that, or like, you know, like a light pack, or maybe even a heavy or something, and be aggressive like that, or something like this, and just try and collapse on the power positions.
Well, that's what I was gonna say here. Do you get, say, 2 mediums in Alpha Land and do this, roll around the
Yes.
back? It's very strong. If you could turn the entire, and they say as team 1, right? CSPS bring 2 assaults. You bring 2 mediums. You've turned them around. They can't control the map anymore.
Yes.
Well, they can, but not easily. It's very, very fucking hard to do. If you've got 2 medium pulse mechs or something in your butt, harassing you, jump jetting, pop tarting, being real pains in the ass, it's going to be hard if you choose to do that.
Is a traditionally range and Pop Tart dominated map.
Mhm.
Those are 2 different things for viewers, and so range can be anything from your large to ACGs or whatever. Now Pop Tart, that can be even closer range,
Yep.
like MRMs, for example, could be viable, or just like high amount of PPCs or anything like that on Summoner, Vapor Eagle, UAC 10s, anything like that. So
Even a good Vulcan with medium pulse is bloody strong too.
that's right. I wouldn't call that more of a Pop Tart, but that
true.
can fulfill a role like that, because there's a lot of hard cover and shot blockers in Tourmaline. It's a very well-known map that has a lot of those like spots you can just corner peek easily from. Looking at the tonnage, very tight, 360 to 350.
Just going to go quickly back to the scoreboard here because we've been doing so much map strat today. I haven't even looked at the scoreboard, which is great for the viewers to learn and strategize and all that sort of stuff. So we're sitting with GNX at the moment, are on 29 points. Comstar Postal Service are 26 points. So basically, whoever wins this drop wins the day.
Well,
so
yes.
this is make or break for these guys.
And it is interesting that CSPS they do have a lot of points.
Yeah.
And it just shows how forgiving this league is, actually, because they got pretty heavily rolled. Drop 1 and 2. I'm gonna be real. They did.
They did. They got rolled, dude. I agree with you.
Or not drop 1. I'm sorry. Drop 2.
Oh, 2 and 3. 2 and 3.
Drop 1
Yeah.
was very
2 and 3.
close.
Yeah.
And then
Well, technically
GNX
that was
got
drop
rolled,
3
drop
and 4,
4.
right? Technically 3 and 4 because we got the first
that's
drop
right.
is the light drop, and then the second one was the 17% bloody mislinks. Yeah,
right.
that was a drop and a half. That one, holy shit, that was a drop. Okay, right now, next loading in. They're not here yet. Hello, oh PGI. No mechs yet. Oh, here we go. I can see him appearing finally.
yes. So for CSPS,
Ooh.
Javelin 11A with ER mediums. I'm not sure why you would do that on a Javelin 11A. Very questionable. Only 6 of them. That's very, very questionable. Now, Nitro B, Direwolf UV Ultraviolet. That's a bit questionable as well. I can get into that after the match. And Annihilator 2A. Like, right off the bat, they're going to C4, roughly that area that I outlined in the beginning of the match. Looking at the builds.
So lots of heavy DACA for GNX here. Heavy DACA,
Yes.
no AC2
Looking at
DACA.
GNX, they have lots of heavy DACA.
What the
And
fuck?
they're just pushing very hard.
Medium pulse,
Yeah.
small Wolfhound.
AC2 ER medium for the Annihilator.
Samuli here in the
510,
Wolverine with
Nitro,
MRMs is up to the
AC2
cap point.
Ultraviolet.
But see what happened here to Chump. He's not interested in capping. He's just interested in denying the cap right now. That's all
right.
he's doing. And that's smart play, actually. Because
And
this will
if we
stop
notice,
the
GNX
push.
has a very interesting choice, an MRM Wolverine 7K. It's very fast as well, and if we look, that's a strong position that he's jumping up to right now. That's one of those strong Pop-Tart positions that I outlined. He
But
can
look,
MRM blast from that position very
this-
easily and cover a lot of different angles.
Is this Javelin going to be able to deny the cap long enough? And we've got the ERPVC Vapor Eagle there for Elemental. Actually denying
I don't
Samuli
think he
any
can.
position.
I don't. He
Oh,
might
there's an
be able
airstrike.
to, but he's-
Uh-oh.
The Nitro. Oh, the Nitro.
Oh, Nudgy's
jumped
fallen
down
off the
in
edge.
The open.
Uh-oh.
But he wasn't punished for it.
No, not punished.
96%.
No. Oh, he is.
The Mad Cat
Oh, no.
is actually taking quite a bit of damage, 85%. Tanking in a
Oh,
Mad
hang on, look
Cat,
what we have.
not
See here?
advisable.
AC2s are about to crest the corner here. The fight is about to start. Inosuke has no idea that they're there. Zenitsu's getting hammered all of a sudden. He's down to 80% straight away. Straight away. And now Inosuke's
But
pushing
definitely
at
eyes
him.
in the Nitro,
Uh-oh.
68%.
And
Very hurt. Animech, 77.
70% airstrike. He just sat in the middle of an airstrike there. I mean, you can't really get out of it with a direwolf, right? Oh,
And it looks like GNX actually is map control right now.
They
Yes,
do,
they
but
pretty much
Inosuke
do
is
have
alone.
map.
Inosuke's moving up
Yes.
alone into AC2 Daka.
That's right.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay, now GNX have
And the
reformed.
Ultraviolet, very hurt.
Very hurt.
Open right torso. CT left torso, very hurt, and he's being focused very heavily. He
Yep.
is halved. The
Yep.
Ultraviolet, just like that.
Deathly
just
Eyes is being
that
pressed
simple.
at the back as well
But
here.
the Mad Cat is very hurt, so technically it's even, but Deathly Eyes is very hurt, and the Direwolf just goes down, just
Oh,
like that.
Inosuke,
Demolished.
dude,
Deathly
is
Eyes just
open
stood in a
everywhere.
strike.
He's not
Inosuke
dead.
died, but the Nitro died for it. He threw his life away
Oh,
just
dear.
to get the Mad Cat.
See what's happened to CSPS? It basically stuck. Look at this, viewers.
Yes,
CSPS
this
is stuck
is
here.
a repeat. This
They
is
can't
a
do
repeat
anything.
of the Rupelite drop.
Yep, they're
They've
just totally
ceded
pinned.
Map control. They've ceded map control. And now look at this MRM.
Wolverine,
MRM
yeah.
Wolverine,
He's just
Samuel
farming him
I.
now over the back here. Oh,
And
oh,
boom,
dear.
Anai would just get picked. That's
Oh,
it.
this is not
It's
good.
a roll.
Yeah.
Another absolute roll.
This has not gone well for CSPS at all here. Oh dear.
And I don't know what ToC is doing in the Javelin. He's just kind of standing around, getting shot.
He's trying to deny the cap, I guess, but I mean, it's already been capped, so just go back and do some damage and try and get a kill at this point.
And now the Javelin is brawling with a medium pulse, small laser wolfhound, and he's
Oh, Chumper's legged. Oh dear.
yes. This
Oh,
ER
dear.
medium laser javelin again, very questionable, overheating, massive, about to be taken out by this wolfhound.
The mental jested leg
And
there.
Memento
Oh,
goes to the
dear.
mouth.
Oh dear. Oh dear. And Chumper's getting swarmed. They are swarming all
Oh,
over
they
him.
team.
Oh,
Interesting.
team kill
Look at
though.
that.
Oh.
Their Mad Cat, not their Mad Cat. Their Annihilator team killed
Uh-oh.
their Wolfhound. He scraped him and team killed him for the
Uh-oh.
EU action.
Oh.
But still a very decisive role. Mad Cat
Yep.
did a lot of damage, pushing up quick, did a lot of damage. Wolverine, Annihilator, lots of damage out for GNX. CSPS, that UV 199.
Oh,
that is
dear.
not how you play an Ultraviolet. You cannot peek corners. You cannot be wishy-washy. You must fully expose all the time. Stand there, big DACA, all
Yep.
the time. That's what happens. It's a box. Weapons are super low, super wide, and something I'd like to illustrate as well. For those in chat who do not know, the Ultraviolet has a specific CT with a missile hardpoint, and that doesn't have any armor quirks. While if people do not know, the Direwolf Prime, and there's a couple others, the ones that don't have hardpoints, it's Prime, I think the A, and it might be the B as
I
well.
think there's three
Not
of them, yeah, that
it's
have the armor quirk.
Prime A and B, something like that.
But not all
They
of
have
them.
armor
yeah.
quirks, a lot of armor quirks, and the Direwolf is a big box, well renowned for being a big center torso hitbox,
So,
and that armor adds a lot. So playing that Ultraviolet, and considering it's an Omni-Mech, so there's literally no reason that you can't go from an Ultraviolet to a Direwolf Prime. It's just a small thing, but it's these optimizations in these close matchups that can turn the game from one side to another.
it's 30
That's a lot
CT
of
armor,
points
and
for
that
this.
might be long enough to get you a kill, right? That all
Yes.
live. So
Yes.
these things are very important. I mean, you
Yes, they
you
are.
can kind of say
Very,
they're
very
small,
important.
but I reckon they're pretty big sometimes
And
too.
that javelin, like, it has a heat quirk, a ghost heat quirk, that specific one for 7 lasers, which means it can alpha 7. But he only took 6.
I've got the scoreboard up here.
I'm not sure why. Very questionable.
Very quickly, have the scoreboard up here. GNX take the win today with 39 points. Comstar Postal Service earn themselves 29 points there.
GNX I would just like to say GNX played very, very well today.
Yep, very well.
Exceedingly well. These two faction play teams were actually pretty well balanced, in all honesty. A lot of them, some of the matches were closer than they seemed. It's very interesting, and seeing the way these teams played.
I'm gonna go back
GNX
to the
played so very well today.
I'm gonna go back to the map
Props
strat. Very, very quickly to the map strat here. A little bit of a quick drawing here. With CSPS opting to go all the way around the back behind C4 up here. I felt really lost them the map control there with the AC2 boats. It took them almost too long to get there, which allowed GNX basically to sort of get all the way up to Epsilon.
Let them push.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough people to prevent GNX from strong arm pushing from their side onto that cap and through. They let them push all the way through. The Mad Cat and the Wolverine did a lot of their damage, pushed up very close.
What do you think?
Mad Cat took a lot of damage, made single peaks, but he actually put out a lot of damage and put out a lot of pressure being on that corner.
What do you think if the ERPPC Vapor Eagle was in Alpha Lance and immediately went up the spire so you could actually...
That ERPPC Vapor Eagle should have
all the way over here.
Either up the spire, or he should have just been shooting them as they crossed, or potentially even pushing in the open onto that CSJ hill, that C4 hill that they...
The problem was the Vapor Eagle spawned in Bravo Lance. That's why I was saying maybe it needed to be an Alpha Lance to get on the spire right away and just start laying fire down and really sort of...
Yes, there's a lot of positions that Vapor Eagle could have and should have gone to. That is not one of them. That, again, they did the same thing on the Rubelite drop. They ceded map control. They took mechs that are very good at pulling wide, and they did not use them to pull those angles. They
could have even sent the Vapor Eagle up to here, or to do a little bit of scouting, and then sort of almost rotated in the rear, almost.
Almost. Yes, absolutely. And that's what I was saying too, is push onto that E4 hill and even do something like that. Because most lights will lose just with BPC Vapor Eagle. That's just how it goes. The Vapor Eagle puts out that much, unless the light is, there's difference in health or whatever it may be.
Yep.
You could have even gone through here, all the way through there. Just on stage, pop charting all the way across to there. There's just a lot of places, but he didn't go to any of them.
I think a little bit of an error in the spawn of the Lance.
He took a quote-unquote angles mech, but played it like a quote-unquote like static or turret.
Yeah, basically from Charlie 4. So he got some early shots in Charlie 5 here as he was moving up, and then just got the Charlie 4 and just sort of...
Yes.
Did what a summoner would used to do, I guess, from almost that Charlie 4 spot. Just it's almost a pop-tart turret, really.
But of course, that was with a basis around 5 cap, 8v8, Theta cap. And so this is Epsilon. And so generally that C4 spot should be reserved for your heavy DACA traders, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Or just heavy traders in general.
Well, that rounds out this cast. We will be back in about 25-30 minutes. So sit tight. I believe there is more comp coming up. Just let me have a quick look here. What else we have? I'm not sure what other comps we have later today. I'm doing 42, and you're going to be back in about half an hour with me. So we're going to do 42 versus FCOB, which is, I think if 42 do another great showing like they did last week, that could almost secure their first place position. But we'll discuss that more.
I might not be able to make the cast. I'll let you know shortly. But
that's all right. We'll work it out. If not, I believe Toaster is willing and able to float around if you're not. So we'll work that out. Guys, sit tight, chill out. We'll be back in about 25-35 minutes or thereabouts. I'll send you to one of the other channels, I think, in the meantime. Until then, thank you today, Mr. Bowser. If you can't make it later.
Thank you.
And
thank you, everybody, for watching.
That's it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back.